Good morning, East Alabama and West Georgia. Dr. Don back in here with you. We have a tornado warning that has just been issued for East Alabama. This is going to be down in Lee County. This is somewhat of a surprise this morning, but nonetheless, there it is. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning that has turned into a tornado warning. This is going to be south of the Auburn-Opelika area. It's going to be just south of the I-85 corridor. We're talking about Beauregard and back over towards Smith Station, Bleecker, south of Opelika, south of Beans Mill. Maybe could impact Lake Harding here in just a few minutes. But I want to make sure you folks down here in southern Lee County take cover. We have a tornado warning that has now been issued for southern Lee County. Let me just read the wording to you here. The National Weather Service in Birmingham has issued a tornado warning for eastern Lee County in east central Alabama until 5:30 a.m. this morning. At 4:38 a.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Society Hill, or 9 miles southeast of Auburn, moving to the northeast at 50 miles per hour. Again, that is a tornado warning that's now in effect for eastern Lee County. It's going to be primarily southern and southeastern Lee County. Now, let me switch over to a couple of different products here and take a look at this. We'll first look at the base velocity. That's a little noisy looking. Let me switch radars. Just go to Montgomery, and let's see what we got here. This will take just a second to populate. There we go. Let me zoom in, and you can see it right there. So the tornado would be right here. And it's moving in this general direction. So I'm going to call you out if you're south of Beauregard, north of 80, and south of Beauregard. Let me get some streets on here. County Road 166. This is in southern Lee County. There's 169, State Route 169. County Road 401. County Road 138. County Road 165. These are all locations where you should be in your safe place right now. Again, this is south of Beauregard, west of 169, north of Highway 80. We have a radar-indicated tornado. Moving to the northeast. It was very tight. It's not as tight as it was. The couplet's not. I'm rocking it back and forth. You can kind of see that. Right there, it was really tight. That's a very good-looking tornado signature right there. And then as we bring it forward a couple of loops, you can see that we've lost that tightness, though we still have indication that we may have a tornado here. So if you're anywhere north of 80 and along and west of 169, south of Beauregard. I want you in your safe place. That would be your tornado right there. Now you folks up there in Auburn, Opelika, even Beauregard, you're okay. This is not going to affect your area. This is moving off to the east, northeast. This may be more of a situation for Bleecker, Smith Station out there on 431. Salem, I think this moves a little bit south of you, so I think it crosses over 431 between Salem and Smith Station. National Weather Service is telling us that rotation has started to broaden, so it may be done for now. We'll keep an eye on the warning for a few more scans to make sure it doesn't try to spin back up. So they're concurring with what I'm saying. This doesn't look as significant as it did a few scans ago. If I back it up, that's when it looked its best right there. That was at 435. That's current at 446. So 6 minutes ago, it looked its strongest. But over the last 6 minutes or so, it has lost some of its the tight couplet is gone. And the Weather Service is going to watch this for a couple of more scans, and then they may cancel this tornado warning. It does not look as significant as it did, but I got to tell you, I don't see anything that indicates tornado, but look at this. Actually showing two different areas of possible rotation inside this storm. Certainly got some wind there, and we have wind here. Again, this is down in Lee County. This is southern Lee County, southern and eastern Lee County. This is not going to affect Auburn, not going to affect Opelika. It is not going to affect Beans Mill. Probably will not affect Lake Harding. But we do have rotation down here, and we have a tornado warning. But again, if I go back to 435, 434, no question we have a tornado right there. We still have a tornado at 437, 438, and then we start to lose the couplet. You see the green goes away, and then the rotation broadens. I mean, it's pretty wide right there. So I don't think we have a tornado anymore. Let me switch back over to reflectivity. Again, for you folks that are just joining us, we're back on the air due to a tornado warning that was just issued just a few minutes ago for southern Lee County. This does not affect Beauregard. This does not affect Lochapoka, Auburn, Opelika, Beans Mill. This is not a problem for you. This is going to be now southeast of Beauregard, just west of 431, Bleecker, Smith Station. The storm is just off to your west and moving to the east-northeast. But again, this does not look as significant as it did just a few moments ago. It looks like it has lost some of its rotation. It doesn't look nearly as strong. I go back to 434. There's your tornado right there. Good indication of a tornado right there. Then as I bring the loop forward, we still have it out to about 439. Then it starts to broaden. And though I do still see indications of some rotation, it just we don't have the couplet. And it's very broad. So the Weather Service is probably considering what they're going to do with this. They're telling us in the chat room that they're going to watch it for another scan or two and then make a decision what to do with this. So we're going to stay here with you and watch this until they make that final decision on this storm. But meanwhile, if you're in southern Lee County, I mean, if you're down there between Bleecker and Smith Station, down along 169, then you need to go ahead and go to your safe place. Take cover. Just looking at several different looks here, and I'm not seeing anything significant. But if we still have a tornado or still have rotation, it's going to be right in this particular area. Salem, you're about to really get some heavy rainfall, but the tornadic part of this would be south of you. This would be an issue. This would be the direction we're talking about right here. So, okay, so now the Weather Service is telling us that rotation is all but gone based on radar. However, the structure is still there in the overall line that could lead to it quickly spinning back up. So they're going to let the warning continue versus canceling, and then potentially having to issue another short notice warning later. Let me read that again. Okay. All right, so to take the course of least regret, they're going to leave the warning in place. They do not see rotation at the moment, but the structure is still there, so it could redevelop very quickly, and they would have to reissue the warning. So they're just going to leave the warning in place, and I think that's fair. So let me talk about some locations again where you need to be taking cover. Lee County Road 198. Of course, this is 431 here. If you're in Bleecker, you need to be in your safe place. Lee County Road 246. Lee County Road 179. Lee County Road 145. Lee County Road 196. These are all locations that are in the path of what was giving us a very strong tornado signal about 7 or 8 minutes ago. Not so much right this moment, but the structure is still in place, and the Weather Service is going to hold on to the warning in case this thing flares back up. No, this will not be coming to Wadley. This is way down south of Auburn, Opelika, moving off to the right or to the east. This is nowhere near Wadley, Alabama. This is not going to be an issue for Valley, not an issue for Wadley. This is way down in southern Lee County, actually southeastern Lee County, and it'll be crossing into Georgia in the next 15 or 20 minutes. And again, this doesn't look as significant right now as it did 15 minutes ago, but the Weather Service is going to hold on to the warning just in case it flares back up. Your rotation is going to be pretty much down in this area. And it's just very broad. I mean, even more so than it was the last time we looked at it. But it'll be crossing over 431 between Bleecker and Smith Station. No, this is not a problem for LaGrange. It'll be crossing over Lake Harding. It'll cross over, somewhere between Bleecker and Smith Station, and then run just north of Columbus. I think this stays south of the Mulberry Grove exit up here in Harris County. As certainly will stay south of Hamilton. I think it stays south of 315. But again, at the moment, right this moment, I don't think we have a tornado. And the Weather Service doesn't either. The latest thing they told us, which was at 4:54, 6 minutes ago, and I'll read it to you again. Rotation is all but gone based on radar. However, the structure is still there and the overall line that could lead to it quickly spinning back up. So they're going to hold on to this tornado warning at least for another couple of volume scans, and then they'll make a decision on what they're going to do. If I take this back right there at 4:37 this morning, look at that. No question, we had a tornado right there, just north of 80 and south of Beauregard. But you'll notice as we move forward in time, you're looking there, you're seeing the reds and the greens and the pinks all touching right there. That's a tight couplet. Then as we go forward with this, you see that disappears. But the overall structure, you see that pink and light pink and red, that overall structure right there is in place. And even as we move forward, we still have it in place. But you don't have the greens. It's not very tight. It's very broad. Really looks no different from what we're seeing up here north of Bleecker, and we know we don't have a tornado up there. This is out of an abundance of caution that they're holding on to this tornado warning. Otherwise, this thing could be canceled. We are almost 99% sure there's not a tornado in this storm at the moment. But because it wouldn't take much for it to spin back up, they're holding on to this warning for just a few more minutes. Yeah, between Bleecker and Smith Station out there on 431 would be, you're going to get some wind there in Smith Station for sure. I mean, you can see that we have a little bowing taking place right there, and that's coming into Smith Station right now. And what once was the tornado would be just right there where you see TOR. I mean, that's the area of concern. And you are still officially under a tornado warning. But again, we're in the chat room with the National Weather Service, and they're kind of giving us updates. And just a few minutes ago, they told us that the rotation was all but gone. It's all but disappeared off of radar, and we can clearly see that. However, the overall structure of the thunderstorm is still intact. So they're going to hold on to this warning for a few more minutes, just in case it tries to spin back up. Now, nothing's changed, Drew. This has been moving east the entire time. The entire system has been moving east, with the individual storms moving a little bit north of due east. And there you go. That leading edge just pushing through Smith Station. Chambers is fine. Woodland, Roanoke, you're all fine. This is the last hoorah of the southern end of this line. That's caused a little instability down there, and it has flared up a little bit, but no problems anywhere else. Small hail and Bleecker. Yes, you're fine in Beauregard. Phoenix City. I mean, even if you're inside this tornado warning down there, at the moment we see no evidence of a tornado. The Weather Service is simply holding on to this because the overall structure is still in place, and they don't want to take any chances here. Salem, you're fine. Let me zoom back out and show you what I'm talking about. All clear, Valley to Net, West Point, Lafayette. All clear, Waverly, Auburn, Opelika, Beans Mill. I'm giving you the all clear. All clear, LaGrange. From Hamilton to Columbus, you need to pay attention to this line of thunderstorms. You'll notice that it's pretty strong between Hamilton back down to Columbus, and then on down into South Alabama. And we have that one tornado warning, but that was because of some tight rotation that actually started back in southwest Lee County, down along Highway 80, about 15 minutes ago. But then it looked pretty strong there for about 5 minutes. And then it faded away, but the overall structure is still in place. So the Weather Service is holding on to this tornado warning for a few more minutes. At the moment, we see no evidence of a tornado, though. I have no rotation, Drew. I mean, all thunderstorms rotate, but this is up in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and it's very broad. We do not have a tight couplet. We do not have any indication whatsoever that we have a tornado on the ground. The storm is past Smith Station. It's already crossed over 431. It's now crossing or about to cross over the Chattahoochee River. I mean, I'm looking at the base velocity right now, and I don't. I see nothing of any concern right there. I mean, there's a little wind north of Smith Station, due east of Bleecker, and there's a little bit just south of Smith Station, but nothing at all that would suggest a tornado at the moment. As a matter of fact, I see more of a wind field north of Smith Station than I do around Smith Station. Maybe just west of I-85 going over the river and about to run right out 315. That's the Mulberry Grove exit off of I-185, just south of Lake Harding. And this is not anything of any great significance. We've got 40-mile-per-hour winds now. I understand this is up in the upper levels of the atmosphere. That's not exactly what we're going to be seeing at the ground. But I'm just making a point that I see more indication of wind now up here north of Smith Station than I do anywhere around Smith Station. I just see no indication of a tornado there, and there we go. The tornado warning has been canceled. Zooming back out, you can see that we have a special weather statement in effect for Harris County, but the tornado warning has now been canceled by the National Weather Service. Has a pretty strong-looking storm south of Columbus. Off to the northeast of Hurtsboro. But it's not bowing. I don't see an inflow notch down there, so I wouldn't be all that concerned. Columbus, you're about to get some pretty heavy rain, thunder, lightning. It's going to be windy down there. Smith Station, hey, you're in the clear now. Bleecker, you're in the clear. Salem, you're in the clear. Beans Mill, you're looking good. Auburn, Opelika, all clear. This storm is rapidly moving on into Georgia, crossing over I-185 in Harris County. Heaviest part of the storm's out there on 219. It'll be running right down 315 as it moves on off to the northeast toward Waverly Hall and up there toward Hamilton. Zoom back out. You got some rain continuing in southern and southeast Troup County. Just some light, moderate showers in Chambers. And then up there in Randolph County, just some light to moderate showers as well, back over into Heard County. Then zooming all the way out, maybe some light showers continue back over Birmingham and back into West Alabama, but nothing severe. We'll switch radars a couple of times here and just kind of look around a bit before we shut things down. Roanoke's fine. I mean, there's no threat of severe weather in Roanoke. You'll see where the tornado watch continues, and it's basically from Griffin, Georgia, back to just east of Montgomery, and then all the way down to Fort Walton Beach and back over toward Albany, Georgia, and Macon, Georgia. All of East Alabama and West Georgia. When I say all, I'm talking about places like Talladega, Ashland, Roanoke, Wedowee, Heflin, Carrollton, LaGrange, Franklin, Lafayette, Alexander City, Rockford. You are no longer under the tornado watch, and there is no threat of severe weather there. LaGrange is fine. The threat of severe weather is going to be inside this yellow box that covers portions of the Columbus area up to just south of Griffin over to Macon, Eufaula, Dothan, Andalusia, back up to Columbus. That's where the severe weather threat is for now, and that's shifting off to the east. So areas behind this yellow line are in the clear. I'm drawing a line, not a very good one, but I'm drawing a line. Everything back here is fine. If you're back here behind this line, no issues. The severe weather threat has ended. If you're ahead of this line, then the threat of severe weather, if you're inside that yellow area, the threat of severe weather continues. And I'll zoom out a little bit more so you can see that entire area there. Basically from Apalachicola back to the Alabama-Florida state line, and then just east of I-65 all the way to Montgomery, and then up I-85 into Georgia just south of Atlanta over to I-75 near Macon, back down to Albany, and then back down to Apalachicola. If you're inside that area, that's where the threat of severe weather exists this Sunday morning. Everybody else is in good shape. You're welcome, Leslie. Hey, Casey. Yeah, I didn't do good in art school. Graceful, Florida's in the house. All right, so there you go. We have lost that tornado warning, so we're going to step aside and continue to watch all of this. And if we were to have more warnings, then, of course, we'll come right back and continue with our coverage. But the line is moving out of our coverage area, and will continue to do so. And so the chances of us having to come back and continue with coverage are pretty slim. Pretty much slim to none this morning. Let me take a couple of these things off. And there's the current shot special weather statement over here in Georgia, pretty much in Harris County. Other than that, nothing going on right now. I mean, we still got some rain all across central Alabama, up into North Georgia. Let me switch over to Atlanta just for a second. So we can give you folks up here in North Georgia a look at what's going on. And, yeah, pretty much that initial line of thunderstorms has already moved through places like Blue Ridge, Blairsville, Dahlonega, Helen, Cleveland, Hiawassee, Gainesville. It's all east of you now. Maybe some heavy rain up there around Toccoa and then back down toward Athens. But the threat, there never really was a threat of severe weather up here in northeast Georgia, but what little bit we had has already moved on over about to move into South Carolina. We do have some more showers back across northwest Georgia, but that's no big deal. And so the only severe threat that remains this morning is going to be along this line, and it's going to be inside those areas that you see in yellow. And that's going to be basically from Griffin back to Panama City. The leading edge of that would be from about Macon to Albany. The backside of it from Andalusia back to Montgomery, and then up to about Pine Mountain. No doubt, it seems like the world's coming to an end there in Harris County, especially if you're right there around the Mulberry Grove exit off of I-185. Torrential rainfall, thunder, and lightning. And that area of this line did produce a tornado back over in Lee County, Alabama, about 25 minutes ago, but has since lost its tornadic characteristics. So very heavy rain continuing there in Harris County. So that'll wind it up for our severe weather coverage. If things were to change, of course, we'll come right back and continue. We thank you for joining us here on Dr. Don's Weather. Be sure you like our page on Facebook. Make sure you head over to our YouTube channel, subscribe to Dr. Don's Weather, and be sure you click that little bell so that when we go live to cover severe weather, you'll be guaranteed to get that notification. And we'll be back in here first thing tomorrow morning with your primetime forecast. And the next time we have severe weather, we'll be here covering it for you on Dr. Don's Weather.
This has been severe weather coverage for East Alabama and West Georgia from Dr. Don's Weather. Coverage is powered by Southern Union State Community College, Boondocks Barbecue and Creamery in Wedowee, Alpha Insurance Agent Jamie Dukas, and The Venue at 5 Points Farms. Brought to you in part by the Randolph County Commission, Heron's Tree Service, Southern Auction Solutions, Roger Bell Auto Brokers, Genesis Weight Clinic in Roanoke, Jimmy Stevens Construction, Anchor Roofing, Auction 431 South, Town of Wadley, and Bama Diesel Repair. We will continue to monitor weather conditions and return with the latest information as conditions warrant. This is Dr. Don's Weather.